Hello students, in today's video class we will continue the chapter The Trees. Chapter in the form of poem. It's very big symbolic poem, I would like to say, is composed by Adrienne Rich. Adrienne Rich was born in Baltimore, USA in 1929. She is the author of nearly 20 volumes of poetry and has been called a feminist and a radical poet or poetess. The poetess is widely read and influential poet of the second half of 20th century. So one must mind it. She is a radical modern age poet and strong supporter of feminist movement. So let's first have a short introduction as the poem has different explanations for different point of view. If you ask it to me, with one point of view, the poem talks about nature or about protecting trees as man has made the forests empty by bringing the trees inside the house, and there is no place for birds or insects to sit or nature to grow up. As the second meaning says, as I called earlier, the poem is symbolic poem and we can't appreciate it unless we understand the symbols used by the poetess in it. Symbolic in what sense? In my opinion, that is the second opinion, the trees actually is symbol for women. Like trees are usually associated with beauty, charm, sweetness, shelter. Similarly, these all traits are true of a women also and with trees also. So it may be a big symbolism, symbolical poem talking about the freedom or the liberty of women who are actually captivated in a house by a man dominant society. That's why when we read in very beginning about the note of poet, it was the lady, the poetess is radical and prominent feminist poetess. So yes, both the meanings may be true in this context. Now, can there be a forest without trees? Where are the trees in this poem and where do they go? There are two questions in front of us. We'll have to find their answers on our own by studying the chapter. So first stanza is the trees inside are moving out into the forest. The forest that was empty all these days, where no bird could sit, where no insects hide, no sun buried its feet in shadow, the forest that was empty all these nights will be full of trees by morning. So it shows very positive, optimistic approach of poetess. First of all, we can say this like by morning there will be a full complete jungle, the poetess says. So first line is the trees inside the room are moving out into the forest. So means it was human's responsibility to plant the tree, but the poetess want to make a satire on human mentality that human has captivated trees inside the house and there are no trees left in the forest and the place where forest should be. Now the trees has taken the charge to go to that place and to grow up a forest. It's a big learning for us, big lesson for humanity. Now in second line it says the forest, and the forest is actually not the forest now because that was empty all these days. That's why trees inside the house are now moving into that area. And now in the forest area where it used to be, there are no birds because there is no forest. There are no insects to take shelter and no sun bury its feet in the shadow, and sun's rays will never bury the rays into the ground, means they directly come to the ground because there is no forest vegetation cover. The forest that was empty all these nights, now it will be full of trees by morning. Means poetess wanted to say that trees has taken now charge to go to all these areas and to grow trees or forest there. In the second meaning, we can say trees symbolize women. Women are now moving out into the forest, meant into the open society, because they were captivated by a man dominant society. So the poetess has observed a society where men have dominated all the spheres outside their home and kept women merely as a domestic chattels stuff. So women has taken charge to go away. So that's why poetess compares such a world to a forest that is without trees, that is without women, and she finds no beauty in it. Now let's talk about the figures of speech used in it. In the first line, we can say the trees are moving out. So moving of a tree is again a strange thing. So we can say personification in the first line, and we can say enjambment is there. Enjambment because the line continue without a pause into the second line, and here you can see no at two places. So very good example of anaphora. And again personification it when we say sun bury its feet. So we have never heard about sun's feet, but it talks about sun bury its feet in shadow. So personification again. Now second stanza, all night the roots work to disengage themselves from the cracks in the veranda door. The leaves strain towards the glass, small twigs stiff with exertion, long cramped boughs shuffling under the roof like newly discharged patients, half days moving to the clinic doors. Again, you can very easily identify there is no regular rhyming scheme, it is in free words. And let's come to the explanation part. So, poetess says that all night the roots of the tree worked. For what did they work? They worked to disengage themselves from the cracks. Because tree roots are, fixed with cracks. The wall of the house, and the wall of the house is actually referring to the foundations, the limitations that we have put in the life of women. So, trees roots means women are putting efforts to disengage themselves from these foundations, and the cracks which are in veranda floor or some cracks of the wall. So these are putting efforts, means women have started putting exerting efforts to free themselves from all these restrictions. Now in the third line, fourth line, the leaves strain towards the glass, and the tree leaves or the small twigs strain means they put effort towards the glass, and they lean out from the glass means they want to go away to the free land or to those areas where there is no forest. So we can take it in two meanings. Women want to go beyond the house walls, or the trees wanted to go into the area where there should be a forest. So trees are putting effort to go away, and they're looking outside the glass actually tells us or suggests us their longings for the freedom. And that is the small twig, the small branch of the tree that is stiff with exertion. And when our hand or legs and all these are stiff, when we put more stiff, more strength in it, means they are fighting against the glass or some other walls to go out. The long cramped boughs shuffling under the roof, and under the roof the tree twigs are actually trying to push the wall away and want to go away. It's a normal tendency in trees that if you see a tree and it is stopped by some wall, and you see some open space or some wall or some holes in it, you see the branches would put effort to go away. So same happened over here. And poetess compares the branches of the tree to newly discharged patients, and they are half in sleep because they are moving to the in the evening time, and they are very impatient. They are in a hurry to go away from the room because you know very well they are longing for their freedom. Or if you take it in terms of tree, they want to go into that area where there is no forest and they wanted to free themselves from the homes. And these are those trees which are actually planted inside the house, inside the wall of the glass, and they want to go away in a free world. In second meaning, we can say these are the women, these are the voice of a women. They want to go beyond, live in freedom. So this is actually all about women movement as well. The newly discharged patients and the tree branches are putting efforts, and that's why there are, there are long crammed on the branches because they are putting full strength to disengage themselves, to set themselves loose from the cracks and to go in that place. And so they are half dazed, and half dazed means they are surprised, they are you know wild bewildered, and they are moving to outside like a newly discharged patient from a hospital is in a hurry to go, and he want to meet with his family members. So his the tree's condition is like this. Now, I sit inside, doors open to the veranda, writing long letters in which I scarcely mention the departure of the forest from the house. The night is fresh, the whole moon shines. In a sky still open, the smell of leaves and lichen still reaches like a voice into the rooms. So now narrator says or poetess says, so I is here poetess. Or I is not only poetess, we can say in a strong meaning that I is actually poetess voice. Yes. So I is not only poetess, it is actually poetess, or we can call it poet or poet's inner voice or poet. So poetess says that she sit inside. She is a symbol of tree as well, and she may be sitting inside the room and seeing all this. The trees are going away from the room and they are going to the forest areas. So the narrator says that she is inside the room and doors open to the veranda, and she is writing long letters in which narrator says that she scarcely mentioned the departure of the forest from the house. So you people may be thinking, sir, what does it mean? Writing letters here is the poetry. So writing letters actually is the poetess' own contribution to the struggle of women liberation. So she's writing letters means she's writing something like a poem, like a work, like a novel to strengthen women movement or women's liberation. So narrator says that still what it all happens in front of her eyes, she mentions it scarcely, the departure of the forest from the house. Off and on she mention it, hardly she mention it in her all works, the departure of trees or the forest from the house. So this is a kind of movement, the agitation against men, that man has captivated trees inside the house. Or we can say it is a kind of conflict between man and nature. And trees may be also a symbol of nature that has taken now charge to set up forest because man has ignored all this. Now, the narrator says the night is fresh because they started going from room to the forest at a night time. They selected a time when it was night, and the whole moon shines in a sky still open, and the sky is still open, all clean. That's why the moon shines. The smell of leaves and lichen still reaches like a voice into the rooms, and narrator says that the smell of those tree leaves and the lichen, and lichen is again a kind of symbol for vegetations. So narrator says that she can still feel their presence though they are departing one by one from the home very quietly to the jungle area. And again there is like use there, smell is compared to some kind of voice into the room, remembrance. So it is very good use of simile. And here we can see sky still, very good use of alliteration. And in complete poem you can see enjambment is used here. And complete poem is also a very good example of personification or symbolism is there. Like the trees are symbol for women or women movement. Now next and last stanza. My head is full of whispers. So whose head? Poet's head or poetess Adrienne Rich's head we are talking about. Head means not only head, it can be mind, it can be brain, it can be complete thought sphere that is full of whispers. Why it is full of whispers? Whispers means sound, the noise that they make. Because trees are stealthily, quickly, and repeatedly moving from one position to another. They are shuffling from home to jungle area, and they are putting much strain, much efforts to move from there, and they are actually disengaging themselves. So yani means training or disengaging themselves from the cracks of the wall. They are actually setting free first of all from, or they are separating themselves from cracks and the walls and all other hurdles. So this exertion, this strain will definitely come up in the form of some noise. So the poetess is sitting in a room in the evening or night time, and she's writing this all in the form of poetry or letters, or we call it in support of this agitation. Then poetess says that her head is full of whispers, full of sound, and the sound is of trees as they are quietly moving away. So this is kind of low sound called whispering. So in this line we can see the figure of speech also maybe onomatopoeia. The sound telling word whisper is used. So we can say onomatopoeia also. Fine. Which tomorrow will be silent, and the sound will not be tomorrow there inside the house. Why? Because or the women will not be there. Women will be free, number one. Number two, the trees from the house will be away and they will set up in the forest area. So there will be no noise. There will be all silence in the house now. Or its second meaning may be the women's dreadful cries will not be seen now because she will set free. Listen, the glass is breaking. What means this? The glass is breaking. Now, poetess or narrator says, listen, the glass is breaking. It means when you break the glass means there are all the walls of glasses. The women is now set free from these so-called walls of glass or kind of ornament or kind of things. Or the trees also were putting more efforts, exertion, when they were putting their boughs or their branches away from the walls. So they put their efforts and they are successful in their efforts. They've broken the glass, they've broken the barriers, and that is the sound of breaking of the glass. The trees are stumbling forward, and again you can see this is a very good example of personification. When we say trees are stumbling, and stumbling in when you run forward in a hurry, you tumble on the path. So this is stumbling, and trees are stumbling, which are all the time fixed on the ground. So personification is here. Why they are stumbling? Very clear reason that they are in a hurry. They want anyhow to themselves set free, and that's why they are walking unsteadily. Their walking is not very steady, so they are unsteadily walking away anyhow they want to go away. Or women are running out or rushing out in a hurry, so it is described stumbling forward. And secondly, they are in running in night, so into the night they are running away, rushing away from the home. And now one more thing is here. Winds rush to meet them. Means even nature also welcome this step. This movement by women or this movement of trees is welcomed by nature. That's why wind also wanted to meet them in a kind of anxious manner. So winds also rush to meet these people. So we are addressing trees as them. We can also call it very good use of personification. The moon is broken like a mirror, and in this line you can see clear example of simile, because we say moon is like a mirror, and moon is actually not mirror, but we call it, so it is simile. Moon is broken like a mirror. How we can correlate it with our poetry, that how the moon is broken, and it looks only the moon. If you see out on over the sky, you see the moon is looking like a broken mirror, not moon is broken. How? And you see its pieces flash now in the crown of the tallest oak. The it complete means that the tree which was inside the house, which were inside the house, actually are now out on the ground, and they have gained such a growth that they are up to that height that they cover moon. And in between the moon you see the tree branches, and the tree branches, if you see a moon behind the tree or the branches, you will see like there are cracks over moon, or it looks like a mirror. And the moons or the mirror species still flash, they shine in the crown of, and it looks like the moon is the crown of those tallest trees of oak. And oak is not only the oak tree here, it represents all trees. So the trees which were earlier inside a house now are there out on the forest area, and now the moon is glowing over the tree's tallest oak or other tree's head, and it is looking like a crown, in the crown of the tallest tree. So this is all about the poem explanation part. As I told earlier, that is the very good use of symbolic poem. It's deeply symbolical poem, and we see that trees are symbol for women or women movement. So here in this last stanza again you can see enjambment is used here, or simile is used over here, and in this oxymoron, onomatopoeia is also used. So these are all explanation part of this poem. Let's have a brief note on this poem. So what I could estimate about the poem is that uh, the house in the poem has been used as a symbol of human society, in which men and women should both live together. And trees are usually associated with beauty, charm, sweetness, as I talked earlier. And these all are actually a true traits of true women also. So the poetess has therefore used trees as a symbol for women, and the forests have been used as the symbol of men. So men like forests are for all usefulness, rust and lack any order. So the poetess has therefore used forest maybe as a symbol of men. And in the another form, we can take the poem in that way, that man has no care for nature, and it is a kind of fight or struggle between nature and man. So trees which are captivated inside the house now have started taking charge to go in those areas where man should go grow trees, and man should grow forest. So tree which are decorative tree in the house have now started taking the responsibilities, and they realize men that they should now take charge to grow a forest. So finally, poetess is very hopeful, very satisfied, as poetess ended her poem with a very positive note, and starting was also with a very positive note that tomorrow morning the area will be full of trees. And lastly, also it is ended by that The moon is growing over the heads and as the crown of all these trees. So, in other words, we can say the poetess note with satisfaction that women have begun to have equal rights with men. So, this is a symbol of equal right movements as well as. And her hopes were never dying in the poetry as we can see. So, that was the beauty of this poem. I hope you must have enjoyed this poem. Thank you for watching.